This is Stuff You Like, you can call me Ursa. I went to see the new Ghostbusters, and surprising nobody, I thought it was fun. Yay! This isn't really a Ghostbusters review because I have no DVD for illustrative clips of Lady Awesome, but I wanted to talk about Kevin because there's this social truth which fascinates and kind of disturbs me, and he's quite illustrative. 3 things about Kevin. 1, Kevin perceives himself as competent. Because 2, Kevin is too dumb to know that he's dumb, and moreover, 3, nobody tells him he's not. Or if they do, 3B, he's not listening. So the first 2 things are the Dunning-Kruger Effect, which is a thing measured by David Dunning and Justin Kruger after David Dunning read this article about a bank robber who got arrested after going and robbing a bank with only lemon juice on his face to disguise him, because he had heard lemon juice made you invisible to cameras. Naturally, this did not work, but David Dunning thought, hey, maybe this guy's stupidity is protecting him from awareness of his own stupidity. And so he decided to measure perceived competence versus actual competence in a test, the results of which went like this. So humans as a species tend towards optimism when evaluating their own abilities. I mean, more than half of people think they're above average drivers, and frankly the meaning of average means they can't all be right. But generally the Dunning-Kruger effect is that the worse you are at something, the greater the gap between your perceived competence and reality. See also Kevin designing the Ghostbusters logo. Kevin basically is unconsciously incompetent. The opposite of this is the gap, not the shop, as explained by Ira Glass, who I've quoted before.
It's like there's a gap, that for the first couple years that you're making stuff, what you're making isn't so good, okay? It's not that great. It's really not that great. It's trying to be good. It has ambition to be good, but it's not quite that good. But your taste, the thing that got you into the game, your taste is still killer. And your taste is good enough that you can tell that what you're making is kind of a disappointment to you. You know what I mean? It's like only by actually going through a volume of work that you're actually going to catch up and close that gap. And the work you're making will be as good as your ambitions.
The gap is admittedly frustrating, but it is how you know that you can get better. So really it's a positive thing. The Ghostbusters in general can perceive the gaps in their knowledge, and so improve, but Kevin has no gap. If you know what it is that you don't know, as it were, then you can learn it. But those unknown unknowns, as Donald Rumsfeld would have it, they will get you every time. Not only don't you know the answer to the question, you don't even know that there's a question in the first place. Which leads me to the 3rd thing about Kevin, and the thing that I find most interesting. People don't correct Kevin. Or sometimes they try, but they give up because it's too much effort or it's socially awkward or whatever. They don't try to explain to him the things he doesn't know, they just disconnect the phone and do it themselves. The things which people don't say fascinate me. Like say you have a friend with a personal hygiene problem, i.e. they smell. Would you tell them? Would anyone you know tell them? Most people wouldn't, because ripping off the plaster and saying something and probably, certainly, hurting their feelings is worse than changing your clothes every time you get home from their house. There are some groups of people more willing to tell it like it is. Anonymous people on the internet, for example, say everything imaginable, but a lot of people on the internet say untrue things, or are incompetent themselves, so maybe that's not much help. So how do you get constructive feedback? Who in your life do you trust to tell you when you're being a Kevin? I joined the Internet Creators Guild recently, and one of the channels that they have is critiques and advice. And I'm hoping that in there I might be able to get some advice on my unknown unknowns. But generally speaking, societal norms mean that people who want to be friends, maybe, won't say really blunt things. Not to mention, regular, nice people generally aren't blunt to people they don't know. Look Jill, you speak way too fast. Fast is fine, but unintelligibly fast is not. I would say maybe anonymity would improve the situation, but honestly, I don't think it would. Honestly, I think the thing that would help most is just the expectation that people are going to be brutally honest with you, and the expectation that if you're in there, you can take it, or at least go cry in private. Regardless though, I will keep trying, because sometimes nobody tells you you're being Kevin. You just have to work it out for yourself. Thank you for watching the show, and to my patrons for their support. If you'd like to become a patron, there's a link up here. If you would like to follow me on Twitter, it's @JillBearup, and if not, I might see you next time anyway.